sky starts to shiver, but you never stop there. It's when your legs can't support you, and I carry you home. You slowly describe the dream that you had last night. It was lovely like spring. You could recall the ending, it didn't matter. I still just loved hearing the way you might word. It's never the point, we get to it first. Just stick to the script, we're so well rehearsed, over and over. Cowardice keeps my head on my shoulders. We're still connected at least. I swear I've gone crazy from late nights in thought of your newfound lovers with his lips on your cheek. They kill and always return. The bird after winter back to a tree. It's outgrown my company, so I'll pour a few drinks. The spot on the ground below is crippled to find. So stay here till morning. I'll be on my way. I'll try to keep from calling, but I can't guarantee prove weaker than I seem. When it comes down to you, you're the weakest part of me, and I love you too much to cut you out. It's never the point, we get to it first. Just stick to the script, we're so well rehearsed, over and all of the things I gave up on you. Biggest mistake. Oh, my truest regret. Don't ever tell a soul it was compassion that we stole. We're proud around our necks like a precious stone in gold, but the chain is turned to rope, and the grip seems far too close for comfort. But we know this place is not our home anymore. I could follow you till the world turns to dust, and logs and pockets of our adolescent lust. Shovel handfuls to the ones that we trust, to never let us down. Several years have passed, and I know I'm getting older. My bones will start to break, and weight grow on my shoulders. My blood is filled with drugs, meant to keep the courage flowing. And my time's gonna come without me ever knowing the truth. I could follow you till the world turns to dust, and lines of buckets of our adolescent lust. Shovel handfuls to the ones that we trust, to never let us down. The shiver on the back of your neck, it's something that you'll have to learn to forget. Love from when your father passed away. Your faith died that very same day. Oh, and I'll follow you till the world turns to dust, until the buildings have all fallen to rust. When the courts of fame meet ordinance, we'll stop to wash the dirt from our hands. Oh,
Test. Ah, there it is.
and I'll follow you till the world turns to dust, until the buildings have all fallen to rust. When the courts of fame meets ordinance, we'll stop to wash the dirt from our hands.
I ruined it. Let's see. You didn't get notifications again, huh? Hold on, I gotta get like levels right. So let me see. Actually, I should adjust it here first. Test. That's sounding okay. That sounded super loud to you? What's it looking like over here? Does it sound okay? Not super loud, right? Yeah, I was having trouble with notifications too. Volume's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm using a new, not new, actually very old, but different. I have two. Fancy, bougie. But this one, I can hook up a different thing so that my voice can sound better when I'm playing the. It doesn't matter. All right. Cool. So we got at least a few people. Book Nerd, Lime Skittles, Emojo, and then me. Let me see. Is the light okay? I put it like down there. Maybe this is better. I can never figure out this stupid, like, where is it supposed to be? And this just kind of looks like I'm telling a campfire, like, scary story. Whatever. You guys looked at my silly face for the last hour, so you don't need to necessarily see it. A pricey setup. Well, I guess I could. You guys want to see what I don't, not like showing off it. I just, if you're interested, I could show you what I use. I use it for the good thing is for all this streaming stuff is I already had all this equipment for recording all the music. Except for the cameras, but I had the GoPro for motorcycles, so I ride motorcycles too. So I hook that up to the either on my helmet or whatever. I don't know if I know any scary stories. I know one silly one that I learned as a kid and for some reason never forgot, and it's really stupid. And maybe I'll tell it later. What types of bikes? Well, for a long time I rode primarily Hondas. So I had my first bike was a Honda CBR 250. We still have that. My wife owns it. She doesn't really ride it. Yeah, they are very nice. And it's a little fun bike. It's the Repsol edition, so if you're familiar with the paint schemes. Oh, nice. Ninja? Kawasaki Ninja? Or is it like Versus? I know there's other Kawasaki's. Ninja. Okay. Right on. That's awesome. Yeah, so now I ride like I do a lot of touring. So I ended up with after the CBR, I got a Honda NC700X, the DCT version, which if you're familiar with bikes, you probably have heard about the DCT that Honda is putting out, the automatic transmission. So that was fun. It was great for touring, although it was no wind protection to speak of. And then now I have a BMW K1600 GTL and a BMW R1200R. I inherited one of them, which was, obviously very lucky with that. But it was basically a refurbished job though, so I had to put a lot of work into it. But they're both great bikes. BMWs are awesome, but a ton of work and expensive to repair. Does anybody remember the shows Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps? Yes. Definitely the books. The books for Goosebumps. Not necessarily Are You Afraid of the Dark. I know the show, sort of, I guess. Why? Something you're into? All right. So, Stanley Parable. Let's see how this goes. Emojo, were you going anywhere with that? Just curious. We want English subtitles. Does anybody else Does anybody else use subtitles like all the time when they watch TV? Probably not. He does that to me sometimes. Lime Skittles, you do? Okay, good. So I don't know if I'm just like hard of hearing or what, but I watch some shows and I just cannot understand what the heck they're saying. It doesn't, nothing makes sense. It sounds like not English, but I know it's English, but none of it makes, and I just turn on the subtitles and everything's good. So I use subtitles on everything. Book Nerd says my cousin does. It drives me crazy. Yeah. Well, if I go over to like my folks' house, they don't use subtitles for anything. And so they don't like it when I turn them on. Lime Skittle says I only started doing it within the past few years. I don't know how I could catch everything they're saying before. Exactly. And like, especially when you're watching something that's like really like in depth, you're watching like something like Tenet or like Inception. And like, how the hell are you supposed to get all of that information without reading it? Or like at least being able to verify what you're hearing. I don't know. I live with my cousin, so anytime I use the TV, the subtitles are on. Yep. So you're going to get used to it, and then you're going to you're going to find yourself, I'm sure, using them. So we have not played the Stanley Parable before. Sorry, I can't really like do both things. Hopefully that's okay. I didn't like the subtitles at first because they were kind of in the way, but I got used to it real quick. Plus, with a certain streaming services, the volume throughout the show movie is all over the place. Amazon Prime Video is bad about that. Yeah. Well, TV was always bad about it. And not to go on like a whole different rant, but TV and commercials. Can we just like air out our grievances about how commercials were like 12 dB higher volume than the show, and it just blasted your eardrums if you had the show at a reasonable volume and then the commercials came on and you're like, oh my god, you got to turn it down. Let's I know that it's supposed to be very barely visible, but I like the brightness up. Yes, pleasantly watching a show and then bam, there's a commercial. Swiffer pick her up, or pick up your damn laundry. I don't like subtitles, especially when watching shows, movies with Spanish. Oh. I want to know that I know Spanish without feeling like I cheated because I read it. I'm fluent, by the way. I've noticed that you type occasionally in Spanish, and you have probably noticed that I kind of glaze over it because I don't know Spanish, and at the risk of embarrassing myself, I just kind of okay, skip that one. But yeah, I could see that. I could see that you would, because it's quick. You would read it super quickly, especially as an avid reader like yourself. You would read the subtitles so quickly, even with your peripheral vision. So if you had them on the screen at all, you would be cheating, basically. Okay, so we got to enter the current time. This is going to be like the slowest start to the game. I'm sorry. I'm having fun, though, talking with you guys. Okay, it is not AM, though. Dang, they don't let me just change that. 8:48. You tend to think more in Spanish. Okay, So that's an interesting thing, when someone is bilingual or, multilingual, I suppose. Um, you think in language. Your thoughts are in my thoughts are in English. So it's interesting that you say that. I mean, I know this is not an epiphany that's new. People have gone through this whole thing, but it is interesting, I think. Okay, can be act. Okay, cool. I just finished my second hot pocket. I feel like I ate nothing. Oh my gosh, that's so relatable. I I know that feeling. Okay, so we've got Stanley Parable. Before you knew Spanish, you asked a Hispanic friend which language she thought in, and she was confused. Yeah, she was confused. Well, yeah, but she probably, if Spanish was her first language, she probably translates everything to English before she says it. Fun fact, I recently found out that my kid doesn't have an inner monologue. Really? Well, I mean, like, so he can't hear his own thoughts or talk to himself in his own head. Supposedly can't picture things in his head, period. Huh. That's interesting. I can't yeah, I can't imagine. It's hard to I talk to myself literally all the time. I talk to myself out loud though too, which does he talk to himself out loud? In his Cuz you said in his head. Can he like speak out loud to himself? And like when he's thinking through something, not that we're like doesn't Dirk Park I don't think so. I'm sure Dirk can think in his own head or can have an inner dialogue. All right, I'm sorry. We're field of view, camera sensitivity, make that a little bit higher. Show subtitles, subtitle size. You think Dirk has mentioned that? Oh, okay, interesting. Only approximately 30 to 50% of people even have an inner monologue. I read some articles who had interviews of people who don't have that monologue and they thought that was made up thing for TV and movies. Nope, I never hear him even say his thought process out loud. Wow. Cause like, what was that? I'd never watched the show, but somebody was telling me the joke about, what's the, like modern? I think it was Modern Family. There was like the kid that, he would like say what he thought out loud. So it was like, yeah, you look great. I'm lying. Kind of a thing. I don't know if that would be kind of an indication of. That's interesting though. That's very interesting. So let's begin the game. I don't know what we're doing. The end is never. The end is never. The end is loading. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Is that what your job feels like sometimes?
Considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. So this guy can't do anything without instruction. Choose or die. Let me see. This sensitivity is too much. I'm going to give you guys, like, oh, that's too little. Let's just go with default. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to give you guys, like, me too much. Okay, so I hate Mondays. All right. So nobody's in the office today. I haven't seen that movie, I don't think.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Room 420. Blaze it. It's a party room. Everyone gone? Yeah. That would be crazy. Although it's like to be the type of person where you go in and you just I wouldn't investigate, I'd just leave.
When Stanley came
You're
to
not
a set
Stanley,
of two
though.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so the narrator said I went to the door on his left. Should I go to the right or should I actually go to the left? You tell me. Do I change my fate? This seems like such a simple decision. But the narrator said to the left. Choose the right. What genre is it? I have no idea. I know nothing about this game. That's the thing. Like, I was told when it was recommended to me, they said, don't look up anything about it. Just go into it blind. You'll enjoy it much more if you go into it blind. Okay, so I got 2 votes for the right. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to see what happens.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay. Stanley's doing something else, apparently. I like this kind of tone with the narrator and everything.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I guess we can't get sodas like in the last game.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
I love it. Yeah, definitely
At
worth
this
it.
point, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
But there's one straight. What should I do? Left or straight? Ah, so many decisions. A room definitely worth admiring. Go straight. If I were the character in this game, the game would only last 3 seconds. I'd notice everyone was gone way quicker than that. Shrug and say, "Well, peace out." Go get a Frosty from Wendy's and go home. Okay, so are we just gonna? How about this? Should we just do the opposite of everything the narrator says? Is that what we want to do? Just, I mean, that's what I would do too. If I were, but I'm not Stanley. I'm not the guy. I'm not. Stanley sits there and takes orders of what button to push for how long. So, always do the opposite. Yes. Okay. I think that's a pretty good plan. Let's do that. I mean, I think the developers maybe expect that.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting it to call me out so quickly. Okay. Stanley was so bad at following directions. I didn't even hear the rest of the thing, despite the subtitles. I don't know. Like I said, I can't even I can crouch. But you can't jump. I can do something. It's making a noise. And I can crouch. But I can't jump because I got an achievement for that, apparently. Okay. So, penalty of misuse of cargo lift. Penalty for jumping. Oh, jumping off the... See, I was on the whole thing of you can't
Look,
jump.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Yes, please avoid
Someone
looking up
you've
this game.
forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh. Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who is her? That is just a straight up black door. I don't even know, what the...
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Who's
to
her?
Reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, Then pick up the phone.
I don't know if I want to. Sounds like her was pretty not good. But we're doing the opposite of what he says, so I'm not going to pick it up. Unless I don't even know how to pick it up. Oh. It sounds like I'm clicking on a keyboard. What the heck? Can I go back out this door? I can't answer the door, the phone, the door. What is this? Oh. What? I know. I tried. I couldn't. I literally couldn't. I don't know.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Wow. That was rude.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Ew. Good morning, employee 427. Press B on your controller. Wait, but that's me pressing buttons in following those commands. I'm just turning into Stanley.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
See? It's just telling me to turn into Stanley and press buttons.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
You gotta be kidding me. Can I press other buttons and see if it... Nope.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
What?
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press B to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Saturdays for the boys. I'm about to prepare some dinner.
As he wandered
For the
through
boys.
his fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
tell your kids a story. Thought I was... Oh, well, I guess the kids are the boys.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Kind of sad.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Should I do it? I don't know. This is actually kind of confusing. Damn it, Stanley. Do I press the button or do I not press the button? He told me to press the button. Or told me not to press the button. It's reverse psychology. But I think if I don't press the button, then I don't think anything is going to happen. I think I'm just going to stay in this room. It's like he's telling you not push, but the prompt is telling you to push. Yeah, I have no idea what to do. I'm really conflicted, so I'm just going to push it. I'm sorry.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press the right arrow to question nothing. Stanley. You simple bastard.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
What?
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What the hell? Please die. What even is this game? Exactly. I don't know. But I'm actually kind of loving it. Black screen, game is over. But it says never. Game is over, never. Okay, so now the music sounds kind of mysterious. And I can't jump, so that's out of the question. And there's still nobody here,
All
and
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait. Hold on a second. Is this exactly the same thing that we just did? Can't be. What if they... Wait. Awaiting input. Can I... Oh! Input received. Look. If I push the A button, it like sounds like I'm clicking keyboard. But it says input received. That's so weird. But it only did one. So, okay. I'm pretty convinced, just based on the fact that the game was not like 2 cents, that it's not just an endless loop. And the fact that they put out a deluxe edition could
When
possibly
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So we're doing the... I know, it sounds like he's wearing socks or something. What you wearing, Stanley? You got them sneakers? You got them Jordans? We're doing the opposite, right? If I don't follow the rule, well, let's try it one more again and see what happens.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
Okay.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
That was
Thank goodness
different.
Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
That was a different dialogue, so that's...
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's so funny.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Can I jump off?
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Everyone thinks you're very powerful. That was perfect. Okay. It doesn't really help with progress, but at least we're kind of... I don't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So that... Look, that doesn't say waiting input. So that is definitely different. I'm sorry if I'm like just going around. Do you want me to
When
do
Stanley
left this
came
time,
a
or do you
set
want me
of
to
2 open
stay the
doors,
course?
He entered the door on his left.
I'm leaving it up to you guys. I don't want to like bore you with going around in circles forever, but I don't know what this game has. I don't know. I'm completely... I guess it's time to listen. Okay? Let's see what happens. But wait a second. If we listen, then we're just being a Stanley. Following. But we'll do it. We'll be Stanley. Stanley.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Wow. What the heck? Number of slides on this slide. Charts, slides, charts, and slides. Rate at which charts on this same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. Okay. Please, no more charts. Please.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. This looks kind of scary. What's down here? Oh, that looks like a note. I would really like to read that. I wish we could read that.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
That was kind of soothing.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? We're on a
Mariella
different...
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What the heck? Okay, so Stanley went crazy in the basement and then died on the street. And then the lady, I guess, some random lady saw him and said, "This person's crazy. I'm glad I'm not crazy, but I got a meeting, so I'm going to leave." So now we're back, and I think it's because we just didn't follow instructions.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay, so
What
all
could
of
it
his
mean?
coworkers are gone. What could it
Stanley
mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Okay.
he had simply missed a memo.
This still doesn't say awaiting input. Does any of the other ones? Oh, this one does. Ah, input received. Look at that. We just need to look for the computer that has the input received, or the input awaiting. Because I think I can only do one per time we go through. That was wild. What the heck? Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We still haven't seen when we go to the right, and then instead of going straight, we go left. So there's going to the left, and then going upstairs to the boss's office, apparently is what it is. And then there's over here, we go to the break room, and we can either go straight to that little conveyor thing, or we could go left into a room that we haven't been in yet. So boss's office or other room. Suddenly, Stanley was aware that he couldn't see his feet when he looked down. Let's go over here and go
This
left.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop
It
by
may
the
loop
employee
again.
lounge first.
Sorry,
just
I
to
didn't see your
admire it.
message or I didn't see your chat until after I'd already.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
We're gonna
open
do this
door
quick.
on his left.
Okay, door on his left. So now we're gonna follow the instructions.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ooh, that's tempting. Oh gosh. Oh no. I want to so bad. It seems like it goes down into that basement though. I can't think of how it would go down there though.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for
Feeling
not
a
getting
wave of
fired. Talk
disbelief,
less.
Stanley decided to go up
Do
to his
unbelievably
boss's
amazing
office,
work.
hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Live let it ball up inside you. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw. Oh my gosh. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Wow.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This is definitely a commentary on, like, corporate life. The corporate worker bee life. Okay. So we've got... Wow, this is fancy. This is where his boss works. Executive bathroom. Oh, I can open doors? I had no idea. Wait a second. That door doesn't open. Okay. So, now I know I can open doors. I'm sorry. What the heck? What the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss shows. Okay. All the floors look like crap, and then you get to the fancy floor at the top. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we got some soap. That kind of looks fancy, doesn't it? Extreme bathrooms. All right, there's... I don't know. There's really nothing to see in here, so we're going to move on. Nothing there. Wow. Everybody's living in squalor, and then they've got these guys in here living the dream. Is this a... Oh, what? I've got a little cursor now? This is weird. I should probably go into the boss's office first. Because this seems like this is the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Uh-oh.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What? This just took a weird... I can't even believe I'm saying, but this just took a weird turn. It was already weird. Stanley.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
What? This looks... peculiar. Pretty peculiar. Look at that. It's like spray painted on the floor. Should I stand here? Something needs to go there or something.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. So we've got two options here. We've got escape which is apparently that way, or we've got the mind control facility. Are we trying to give Stanley his best life? Heck of a choice. Exactly. Mind control facility. I feel like he's already, I mean, this game is very confusing because I know that we're technically, I think we're supposed to go this way, but, you know, the guy is telling us we need to go this way. Thomas, what's up? Glad you're here. Hey, you recommended this game to me. In fact, so everybody can thank Thomas Trainwreck for this, and you can also thank Thomas Trainwreck for Superliminal, which we just finished on Monday. So everybody thank him for the headaches and the because that was a total mind. Yeah, it was a mind scramble, we'll say. I'm trying to keep it somewhat PG here. I will not thank him at all. But I bet it was fun. Yes, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I think we all enjoyed it, and to some capacity. It was just really wonky. It was something else. This is already very wonky, and I have no idea what is actually happening. So, we're gonna escape. I guess I'd get mind controlled. I'd go get mind controlled. Well, mind control seems like this is our first run through. I have no idea anything about the game. I didn't look up anything. So hopefully all of us are completely fresh. Well, let's do mind control because I don't know. It seems like if this is the wrong move, then we'll just end up back in his office again. Because we've ended up back in his office like 3 times.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
It is kind of, I am kind of curious too, so let's just do it. This is something. It's kind of like in The Matrix when he goes into that room with all the TVs. Except these are flat screen TVs. This isn't 2000 anymore. There's no ending. There's just multiple endings. Yeah.
Now
Wait.
the monitors jumped to life. Their
Fired!
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What? Whoa. Am I on here? What number was I? 147 or something? Had one. You feel like your old job has one of these rooms? Yeah, probably. I think I was 147, right? Employee 147. I wonder if like a live or 437. Well, obviously I'm not in that one, so let's look for 437. I can't remember. Nope. Doesn't look like that feed has us in it. Maybe not. Anyways, whatever. Obviously we got to press this button. I don't know that there's any other option.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, you're in this room, not that room.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes. That's the answer. Stanley, you big dope. What the... Oh. What is happening?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ooh. Mind controls, idle, awaiting input. Can I push any of these buttons? Should I push? I think the mind control is offline. Yes, it appears by the indicator on the screen. Should I press which color button? Whatever. I just went ahead and tried it. Nothing happened. Bunch of colored buttons. Nothing seems to happen. So I guess let's go into this big room over here. The facility power. Holy smokes. The big old room.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
On.
he knew it was his
Off.
duty, his obligation, to put an end to this
Oops. I thought too fast. But I guess that's what we wanted, right? We wanted to turn it off.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was
like,
not
"I don't
knowledge
care."
or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Good for you, Stanley. We beat the game. That's come on. Yeah. It does look sus. But we ended up right back here. But we got... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I doubt it. How are you going to sell me a deluxe edition and then you're going to make it like 30 minutes long?
All of his co-workers
We only
were
spent
gone.
an hour on
What
it
could
because we were
mean?
talking.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait. This is different. This is not the same office. It was like $25. It was supposed to be... This is a different room. Look at this. This is different. I think that achievement is like... Yeah. This is... I think that achievement was like
Stanley
a...
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
I don't know what to do. Should I just go to the left? Or should I continue going to the right? It's a valid question, though. How much was this game? I don't know. That room was definitely different. That tells me that maybe there's more to it. I'm like just wishful thinking. It feels like that's the more direct route. I guess we'll go this way.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
We've only gone
Stanley
this way
decided
once.
to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, so we're going up to the boss's
Coming
office.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. So we've basically done all this. We've done the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
Once again.
life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
There was that elevator on the other side in this upstairs area too. If we don't go into the manager's office, we can go to the other side. I can't go there now, but... And the dialogue of the narrator is different. I'm just trying to like... I'm just hoping that it's... It seems like it's still continuing. Yeah, we went left only once though. It was just a more direct way to that staircase to go upstairs or go down to the parking garage. Basement. Okay, so now
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
no, we didn't. So we're gonna
Although
escape
this
this
passageway
time.
had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Uh-oh.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
19 different endings? Holy smokes. So we just got to
At
like
this
the
point,
shortest
Stanley
one,
was
I'm
making
sure.
a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
That's before the DLC. I got the like deluxe edition, so maybe does that have the DLC with it?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I can't do anything about this? There's nothing I could do?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
So this, yeah, this is his office, and you go down, and that's where there was the awaiting input computer. And then we have the two doors. Huh. Who even came up with this game? I want to have a chat. Yep. Let's see. Buttons, sounds. So we've got various button sounds. I don't know if that's important for us later. And we've got credits. Obviously not very many. Office computers. Turn them all off. Okay, so now I can go that way or that way. Boss's office. This is just like a bunch of freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of freedom ending the game's alpha. Monitor room L. What? So we haven't seen some of these things. Museum of Your Life. Zending levers. Yeah, we haven't seen that. The game is now paused. Begin. I'm sure some of that would come in handy later. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your Nintendo Switch. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Whoa. What the heck? I'm gonna try to get to one more ending before I finish out for the night. What is this? Oh, I think now that I know that I can like actually interact with stuff, maybe I can interact with more things. So now we're back to the normal time will always choose for you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What the heck? These all say the same thing. It's definitely different. There's none that say awaiting input though.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So did it ever touch on why
Yet
everyone
there was not a
is
single
but
person
him is
here
gone?
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
It hasn't-
hoping he
it
might
hasn't
find an
explained
answer
that.
there.
Oh,
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I didn't know I could open that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Closet
office.
ending. Bathroom ending. So let's go in here and let's go in this elevator that we found. Should we go up or down? Up or down in the chat? Let me know. 50-50. Thomas Trainwreck, you've played this game, right? Or you just knew about it? All right, down it is. First to speak up. I guess I have another option here. Okay. We haven't gone up in this elevator yet. We haven't even been in this elevator. Oh, you know most of this game's secrets. Uh-oh. Well, yeah, let us no spoilers is what I'm trying to say. Okay, what the hell? Sound is funky. Okay, good. If you if you feel the need to give hints, that's fine, but no spoilers. Is this really? I heard a voice. There's a voice. Wait, what? I just ended up in the same place. You don't know why anyone would play this game for 30 minutes, for more than 30 minutes max. I don't see how or why. Yeah, just pulling your hair out. So, okay, well, what the heck? I just went down and the narrator is singing with the music. Does this elevator not go anywhere? That's so frustrating. Oh my gosh. It doesn't go anywhere. What? I can't believe it. Let me out of here. I tried up. Up. Didn't do anything. Yeah. They both... Oh, awaiting input. Look. Boom. Input received. I just got to do 2 more. I think it has to be prompted by another action. Okay. Huh. Like...
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah, so I have to put
he
up
stepped into
on the other
newly
one.
opened passageway.
This one? Oh, the up button isn't lit up. What do we think? Go down? I mean, I don't think I can get out of this door after the pin is put in. What if I put in the wrong pin? Go down and then up. Alright, let's try it. Back and forth. Back and forth. Okay. Let's give it a shot. See what happens. Because we know what happens when you go through the... We know what happens when you go through the mind control. We know what happens when you go through the escape hallway. Okay, so now if we go back up...
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Oh. The narrator doesn't even know. Apparently. Just play off the narrator. Okay. Wait, is this a hallway over here? Can I go this way? Whoa. This is like a whole... I can't see anything. Oh shoot, I'm stuck. I'm definitely stuck. I'm sorry. Okay, thanks for joining in, Bramphy. I am definitely stuck. I don't... Oh, there it is. There's something over there, but I can't get to it. Thanks, Bramphy. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
So I can't get out the door. I can't hit those keys. What if I put the key of the passcode in again? I think it'll be different if we try it again. Huh.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I don't know. How does he?
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I just like doing the opposite of the narrator. Yeah, that's what we were doing. But now we're met with the same two decisions.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
There is something
Did
to...
he have the strength
I already
to
messed
find
it up.
out?
Sorry. Dang it. I don't think there's any spots that I can.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Hello, and
Stanley,
Zalandros.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where
Didn't you turn
freedom
the
meant
mind
nothing.
control on last time here? Yeah. We're... Oh, I
This
thought it
mind
might be
control
different.
facility,
I was wrong.
It was too horrible to
I can't
believe.
jump.
It couldn't be
It
true.
it gave me an
Had
achievement
Stanley
for
really
saying
been
that
under someone's
that I
control all this time?
can't
Was this
jump.
the only reason he was
Glad you're
happy
here,
with his boring
Zalandros.
job? That his emotions
Thanks
had
for
been
tuning in.
manipulated to accept it blindly?
It won't let me jump off though and
No.
die.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't
So
accept
last time
it.
you chose
His
off
own life in someone else's
at the end of
control?
this path, I
Never.
thought.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life
Well, we went to
utterly
the,
blind world?
escape, and then we've done this too though.
But here
Oh,
was
we
the
chose
proof,
off.
the
I see
heart
what
of
you're
the
saying.
operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
What if we choose
Happy
on?
or sad or content? Walking, eating.
We chose
working,
off.
all
Yeah.
of it monitored and commanded from this very
Let's try
place.
on.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Yeah, you're right.
For
Definitely.
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation?
Ruh-roh.
Then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
Are these
this
still
is
offline?
Much better than what I had in mind.
Can I
What a
mess with
shame
any
we
of
have
these?
so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Wait,
More time
yellow
to
button.
talk about you.
Ah.
About me. Where we're going. What all this means. I
What is it?
barely know
There's a
where
4.
to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Incorrect.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
I don't understand.
Sometimes when I tell
Two.
it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying
2 purples.
alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn
Ah,
to a
there's one.
crisp.
No, that's
I have
blue.
to say this,
Dang.
though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Why
My
didn't it
goodness,
accept
only
that?
34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
Ah.
To see you made humble. This is not a
Ah.
challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine.
It says
I'm
just
going to
one.
destroy it first, so you can't.
Bye.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30
30
seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being
What about
blown to
these?
pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe
What about
me,
down
I
there?
will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh my gosh. What the heck? Was that... Did those buttons do anything? Was it just messing with me? It made it... It's
How
such
long
a
was I
jerk.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
All right, just one more ending. I know I'm losing people. Oh, wait. What? New content? Ah!
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
But we gotta go and see what's up with that elevator, because apparently there was something with it. Is that true? Thomas, should I go to the elevator or should I go to new content? This will be the last thing I do for the night, I think. And then I'll probably continue on Friday. No to new content yet. Okay. Yeah, we haven't done the old
When Stanley
content.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
And now I don't think that we have this one right here. That door goes to the hallway on the other side of the break room.
Yet there was
Yeah,
not a
we
single
have
person
a number
here
of times.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping
And
he
we've
might
gone
find
down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We've gone downstairs, we went crazy, and then died on the street, and the lady... to be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life would be to have to pick just one. We've gone downstairs before. Do it again? You're saying? We like walked in circles and we've... And then like walked through space and stuff. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, downstairs was pretty trippy because we had to like walk through. It was like the space thing. But yeah. So you're saying that there's something either with this elevator or with what the heck? Look at this. Business, a strategy. There you go. There's business strategies. So is this going to work this time? I wonder if I do the opposite of whatever I selected out there. Does that change? Yep, not different. Up and down a few times to trigger. This is nothing, I don't think. This is just a waste of time. That's what you mean. Other elevator. Okay. And you said type this in
Stepping into
before.
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Is it
What could it
284?
mean, he wondered. Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So calming. Exactly. I feel very calmed. Okay. Let's see where this takes us. Down, and up. Okay.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Let's see what
Why
happens.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's
Don't
a
let the
great
narrator
question.
control you.
I just can't wait to find out.
I'm just being too much of a Stanley over here. Okay. Come on. Wait. I have to get out of it for that lights to turn on, maybe? The light's not on. Anytime the
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Right on.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
All right. Hey, I appreciate everybody who's watching. If you're here, please consider following. I'm trying to get to that follower goal that you can see. Actually, it's kind of down. Would really appreciate it.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
No pressure. Okay. How does he do it? All right, so let's go back up. He's going to be like, what the hell are you doing?
We were going to go forward down the spooky corridor. No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Okay. Let's go see the boss's office.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Wow.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Will I do it again? Let's find out.
have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Master.
Of course. Going back down the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Yeah, the narrator's hilarious. Yeah. So we got to trigger the...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right? Nope, that didn't trigger him. So he's obviously not upset. So instead of...
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment the thing gets started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Oh, my goodness. This is different. Yeah, Zalantros, I totally agree.
Okay,
the writing is so good.
Holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley. Look at him. He's so, like, confused. How he did it. World's healthiest human being. Wow.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. World peace, baby. 2-stage. Doesn't seem like there's any other options.
Are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. So I'm like 427. Okay. Yep, my own little green room. Get me water. What? Stanley's living it up in the public eye. Nope. He's back. Oh, awaiting input. Hey, this is the last one. Let's see what it does. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. What the heck? I can move around. Is it saying buttons? Buttons. Buttons. I'm in heaven. There's so many buttons. Which button should I push? Nobody's telling me. Buttons. Press them all. Oh my gosh, can I really press them all? Oh my gosh, it's really gonna make me push them all. Buttons. Friggin' love buttons. Golly, this is gonna take forever. How have I not come back? They keep on coming back! No! I thought for sure that I was... thought I was actually going to be able to press them all. They just keep going back. Forever buttons. This is really heaven. What do I do? I don't understand. Did I just lock myself in this? Great place to end. Does it just leave me in this until I turn off, until I like reset the game? You can spoil that if you know. Because I am actually looking for a place to kind of end the stream. Holy smokes. This whole time I've been like waiting and putting the like waiting input, and every time we go through this stupid loop, I put in the new thing. Oh my gosh. This game, man. I don't know if I can thank you yet for recommending it. But it's been an experience. I'll say that much. Welcome to heaven. Heaven. Oh my gosh. Cool. Well, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out. And you know, if you're not already following, please follow. Help me get to that goal. I play music for the most part. And then sometimes we play kind of funny and puzzle games. I like puzzle games. So, cool. But I'm going to get out of here. I hope everybody has a good night. And hope to see you guys again. I'll be back on Friday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can check my schedule on the page. Thanks, Slime Skittles, for hanging out during the show, the performance, and the after party. And Zalandros, glad to have you here. Thanks for watching the button pressing. It's been an experience. Thomas, thanks a lot. Thanks for the recommendation. Definitely for Superliminal. That was a lot of fun. And this has been an experience. And I appreciate it just the same. Anybody else out there who's lurking, that's cool. I appreciate you also. All right. Everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Peace.